Hmm. Well, not 100% sure how it's going to look, but what are you going to do? I just didn't have any black enamel. I suppose I could have waited and ran up and got some this morning, but what are you going to do? I don't normally like to stop. So, which actually got me thinking. I was thinking as I'm painting this, my process is very unscripted. And by that, I mean, I don't know if you noticed in the first video of me making this part one, there's a spot, I don't know, it's probably near like a third of the way into it. But I'm moving the piece around and I set it up and I very quickly grind the back. And my intent was to grind some and carve some waves in the back. And I did it just very briefly, and I quickly realized that it was either going to be like one of these things where I got to do it and commit to a lot of time, because that's what it was going to take to do it, or change my script. So what I did, and you'll see, I very quickly just shut that down, and out comes the table saw. And what I did was I ripped them down to size and made the flat back. But that's how it goes, especially when you haven't done it before, the project before, or type like, you just got to be ready to change on the fly. And sometimes it's for the better and sometimes it's for the worst, I could have committed and made the waves on the back. Couple things about it. One, it was going to take a tremendous amount of time. I could tell that just in the first moments. I didn't have the bigger wheel that I had the day before, and I could just tell it was going to be very, very time consuming. Oops. So it's like, do I waste a lot of time? And not waste, do I commit a lot of time to this? Or do I take a lesser approach and just, cut it flat and paint it? And that's what I opted to do, because the reality is the back isn't going to get seen as much. I'm sure somebody will probably lift it up and look on the back from time to time, but it just won't get that much attention. This isn't like a commission piece where I'm being paid a lot of money or something. I'm just doing it. So, I kind of set those boundaries for myself. Now, there's other times where I would gone to very far lengths to do the finish and not cut corners and whatnot. Really just depends on how I feel. Like anything in life, right? How are you in that moment when you make the decision? And so this is gonna look pretty good. I'm pretty happy already. I don't even think I'm gonna worried about a straight line on these edges. I think what I'll do is just paint it and let it be kind of rough on the back like that. But those kind of things happen quite a bit. And I've learned to not really fight them, For what it's worth, the stuff shouldn't be frustrating to do. I'm not out here to be super strict and to be super bound where I can't enjoy the process, I'll even give you a small example. In the making of this video, obviously I have to kind of watch what kind of sounds are in the background and whatnot. So I don't even listen to music when I'm filming, because I don't want to get a copyright strike, or I don't want to not be heard. Now, when I go to editing, I'll use some free music because I can control the music a little easier, and I won't get the copyright strikes. So, it's up to you. How strict do you really want to be? Like I was going to say, but it should still be enjoyable. I have moments of frustration, sure, when I'm tempted to do something, I screw it up or whatever, but so we are being rained out. It's been raining most of yesterday and today. Last night it rained all night with thunder showers, lots of pretty lightning. I love lightning. There was a great deal of it last night and this morning. Quite a bit different for me and Julia. Julia and I and the kids, I mean, we're just, though we've lived in places where there's warm winters, we had spent since 2006 until 2021 living in cold weather climates with heavy snow and really close. I hate traditional type of painting, painting walls and ceilings and things like that. I dislike them, especially if it's very cut up and you have to go around a lot of things or tape a lot of things. But painting wood projects I've always really enjoyed, even if it's a little more detailed than I want to typically get into. I just enjoy it because it's a doable size, It's not nothing. You don't have to feel like you're going to be overwhelmed with a huge day of painting or painting around a lot of different little things. So I've always enjoyed painting wood projects. Used to like those little wood projects you would get from like the hobby shop, and it would be like a race car. And it would be all cut to size, and everything else you had to do was assemble it and paint it. Those were always kind of fun. The planes, the little rockets, all those. So an issue that rises with acrylic going over enamel is it bubbles up and comes off. It doesn't want to go down onto it. So these edges I probably just won't be able to get them as clean as I'd like, but I think it's okay. I might just scuff, like I said, I might just scuff this whole thing up and make it look like it's an older, worn type flag. We'll see. Changing it on the fly again, huh? And I think that is a good lesson that can be applied to a lot of things in life. I don't know where I first heard it or first understood it or whatever, but the idea that you're going to go out into the world and have a plan and that it's going to all work is one of the funniest things imaginable, right? Because anybody that's ever created a plan knows that it often fails relatively early on and has to be changed frequently. It's just how things are. So you might as well be prepared for it in every aspect of life. Be ready for a change. Be ready to do something that you hadn't thought of. You know, whatever you got to do to make it work. I think I made this work well enough, and I'll be happy. So I'll let this sit up for a little bit and get dry. I don't know. I'll have to see what else I can get into. All right, talk to you later.